Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Indah Alviana Putri from Desain and Manufaktur Engineering Class 8A. On this video, allow me to present my final project. The title is Design and Manufaktur of Jig and Fixture for Machining Process Balance Wheel on 3-axis CNC Milling Machine. With my supervisor 1 is Mr. Pranawo Sidi and my supervisor 2 is Mr. Jos Andri Kusuma. The background in this final project is obtained from the problem that exists on the job training Civigaya Indah. Civigaya Indah is a company in manufacturing that provide product machining service. Balance wheel is one of the products that will be produced which serve to balance a machine component. There are several obstacles in producing balance wheel. One, namely from the balance wheel design, there are difficult hold position to machining. The mass production demand is 250 pieces and the minimum size of the 3-axis CNC milling machine room that will be used. So from this problem, the Jig and Fixture is one of the tools that can overcome the problem of machining balance wheel. The design and manufacture of Jig and Fixture is made in simple model by adjusting the machine room, and there are two kinds of Jig and Fixture used. In this case, due to lack of efficiency, if existing products such as rotary table and fish are used at the same time. Research problem based on background that has been described before, then problem obtained, that is how to design Jig and Fixture for machining process balance wheel on 3-axis CNC milling machine. So how to make of the balance wheel Jig and Fixture correspond to Civigaya Indah production need. 3. How does the performance of the balance wheel Jig and Fixture on 3-axis CNC milling machine? The objective to be achieved in this final project include knowing of the Jig and Fixture design for machining process balance wheel on 3-axis CNC milling machine. 2. Can making of the balance wheel Jig and Fixture that correspond Civigaya Indah production need. And 3. Knowing the performance of the balance wheel Jig and Fixture on 3-axis CNC milling machine at Civigaya Indah. Research significant. The benefit of writing this final project are research delimitation. The limitation of writing this final project are 1. The design and manufacture of Jig and Fixture can only be used for machining process balance wheel. 2. The type of Jig and Fixture design can only be used for G-axis CNC milling machine at Civigaya Indah. 3. Doesn't discuss welding power. 4. Doesn't discuss clamping power. And 4. Doesn't discuss the lifetime of the Jig and Fixture. Here is the worksheet scheme result of the Jig and Fixture. First, by identification and research problem. Second, study of literature. Third, existing product study. After that, preparation of list need and making design concept with concept selection based on one operation to manufacture 3 costs. And the next flowchart, that is doing component detail component, then the strength analysis. What is the result analysis? Smaller than allowable stress. If the result no, too much doing to the strength analysis, and if the result yes, can to make the step to detail drawing. And making and manufacturing of Jig and Fixture. After that, doing trial. Does Jig and Fixture can produce product according to spec drawing? If the result no, To must repair jig and fixture. If the result yes, can to next step to doing discuss. And the last step to making conclusion and suggestion. Here is a table of existing product study. Existing products have an advantage and disadvantage. Here is a table of list of need. On this table have four aspects, that is one material, which is the material used are adjusted to the component availability. Two operation, which is can be used for machining process according to spec drawing, can produce balance week, easy to operate to produce balance week. Three, manufacture, which is easy to manufacture. And four, cost, which is the production of jig and fixture is less than 3,500,000 rupiah. First, design concept of jig and fixture. This is jig drilling and this jig milling. In the first design concept of jig drilling, it has two sides with the function of angle drill and strength drilling in one process, which use a stopper on the strength side of the drill and lock pan on the side of the angle drill. In the first design concept of jig milling, there is one use, one clamp in the middle position, and the addition of two clamps to grab the side with a jig size of 50 millimeters in diameter and 12 millimeters in thickness. In the second design concept of jig drilling, there is one side with two functions, namely strength drilling and angle drilling, with their use having two alternate in each machining process. The use of a stopper on strength drilling and lock pan on angle drilling that can be installed and removed for each machining process need. Jig milling. In the second design concept of jig milling, there is the use of 5 clamps with a base plate size 375 by 375 by 20. Third design concept of jig and fixture. In the third design concept of jig drilling, it has two sets with two functions, namely strength drilling or angle drilling. There are the use of a stopper and a lock pan as a retainer of product that can be installed and removed according to the need of the machining process. In the third design concept of jig milling, there is use of 4 clamps with a base plate size of 375 by 375 by 25, which has a groove shape as tool free motion. The concept design assessment table is obtained based on the result of the comparison between each concept that has been described in the selection criteria subsection with the comparison product for discussion with the parties concerned is CV Gaya Indah, and the concept root value for each criteria is 1 to 5. In the table jig and fixture drilling, for the highest absolute value 4.35 and highest relative value of 30%, namely in the first design concept. In the table check and fixture milling, for the highest absolute value of 4.35 and the highest relative value 30%, namely in the first design concept. On the check and fixture balancing chart, it can be seen that first concept has the highest value than the other concept. Calculation of cutting first drilling process is obtained from the two chisels used for the drilling process. So from the two tools used, the large cutting force is obtained on the 7 mm diameter chisel. Then the planned force the drilling process is 5,000 active 4.79 Newton. The diameter of the bolt is calculated first as the determinant of the bolt used. From the calculation obtained a diameter of 5.77 millimeters. In the calculation result, the diameter of the bolt increased to 10 millimeters by adjusting the allowable stress and pressure. From the calculation of the surface pressure on the thread and the stress on the bolt, it can be said to be safe. So it can be concluded if using a diameter of 10 mm as such as one bolt is safe. From the result of the comparison of stress analysis on manual calculation and software, only slightly different. In the analysis of the strength of the jig and fixture for the milling process, the steps are the same as the analysis of the jig and fixture for drilling process. There is calculation of the selection of the diameter of the bolt. Here is calculation of the surface pressure on the thread and the stress on bolt. From the result, the comparison of stress analysis on manual calculation and software only slightly different. Manufacture process and assembly. Here is the process of making jig and fixture drilling. First, the stage of the process of making material placement plate component. Second, the step of the process of making base plate component. Third, the second step of the process making soft plate component. Next, the stage of process making stopper component. Next, the stage of the process of making lock pen component. After that, the stage of welding process of the all component jig and fixture drilling. Here is process of making jig and fixture milling. First, the stage of the process of making soft plate milling component. Here is assembly of jig and fixture balance wheel on 3-axis CNC milling machine at CV Gaya Indah. Here is the balance wheel result after process machining. Here is result for jig and fixture milling, and this for jig and fixture drilling. Here is a table experiment result with 6 trials and that are acceptable but still need to be improved so that the measure results are more constant and sequential. Here is of the writing this final project, and this here of us suggests the final project. Thank you for attention. Enjoy with my video. Stay healthy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.